RingGangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
Yeah, what's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, the shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Pat Scorpion, the New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do is LB, Lauderdale Boss, aka Shout a word to God, the GOAT artist, Soul Wars creator, RingGangRadio.com in the building.
Yes, sir. Ring Gang in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yer, what's good? It's your boy P, King P, Bodega Box in the building. Ring Gang Radio, what up? Let's go.
Hey, Bodega P, and he's not in the sewer today. He's above ground, he's taking a break from usual, like finding all this crime out there. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of mutated creatures and, niggas with problems, niggas that fell out of the hockey leagues and shit like that out there running rampant. And as always, we salute you for your service.
And speaking of mutated creatures, got the movie feature, nigga. Like, you just kind of, let that shit fall flat.
Yeah, and we had our cartoony mutated creatures.
Yeah, so we got the double feature. We got what we kind of call it, the Grindhouse.
Yeah, Grindhouse double feature.
Yeah, we got the Grindhouse movie review. Like, we got the two horror movies back to back.
Yeah, and it's usually it's rare that we actually have those too. I mean, one of them I never even heard of before because this nigga LB was telling me about this shit, and the other one kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't even know there was even a reboot, and that's the one we're gonna talk about first. And that would be Wrong Turn. And first when I saw it, when I came across like certain my certain areas where I get my movies, and I was like, oh shit, this is about to be live, and I remember seeing the trailer for that shit too. And I kind of forgot about it. I was like, oh shit, this is about to be dope.
Yeah, because the trailer came out a little while ago, and I actually liked the trailer. Like, the trailer looked good. I was like, oh, okay, like... Yeah,
it did. I was like, okay, this seemed like they're
intense.
Yeah, it's like they're about to bring some fuckery. But then I kind of forgot about it because I think that movie was supposed to be in the movie theaters, but you know how this COVID kind of like took a lot of the movies, both big and small, out of like the rotation. I think Tenet was like the biggest movie that got released post-COVID in the theaters, and that didn't really do that well. So they probably, they kind of shelved it, and then I think now they released it as like a VOD, video on demand type shit, And lucky for us though, we didn't have to go to the theater.
Box office.
Yeah.
Video on demand.
So initial thoughts. So LB, you go first. So what were your initial thoughts on the movie?
Initial thoughts, I enjoyed it. I feel like the movie has like 4 different parts to it. So the pacing and sequencing was great. Wasn't a lot of bullshit or unnecessary talking. As a movie, it flowed good. And the reason why I say, the movie breaks up in about 4 different parts because when you watch the movie, it's like the movie presents you like certain, it's like certain aspects of the story where the climax is like you have an early climax to what happens in the first part.
Mm-hmm.
Like the story progresses to one part. Then it takes up to a second part. Then you got the third part. Then the fourth part is a conclusion. So, I like that. But there was one thing about the movie that kind of threw it off. And I don't know if we want to do Are we doing spoilers or?
Hell yeah!
We could definitely spoil it.
Yeah, yo. So this is the one thing that threw it off for me. If you've seen the original Wrong Turns, you know that it's always been about the crazy killer, hillbillies on some hills that have eyes.
Hell yeah.
they're like mutated from interbreeding for years and years. They're in
Yep.
some backwood, God knows where type of fucking woods, somewhere undiscovered in Virginia somewhere. It's like they set up everything for that, but they take that part out.
Yeah, and that's where the movie lost me, because I was
Disconnect, definitely disconnect. It doesn't ruin the movie, but it's a disconnect.
I mean, you see, because I know you were able to get past that a lot easier than me. I was just like, when we got to that part, I was like, it took me out of the movie so completely. So I just sat there with just like what the fuck, because there's one thing, like, I mean, if we're gonna do a hillbilly movie, I like my hillbilly movies with some fuckery in it. Like I want my cannibals in that shit, nigga. That's the whole thing.
God damn, like
They had the fuckery, but to me, what they did was they modernized the concept, hipsterized it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely checked off on the agenda checklist. Like, what the fuck?
It had the agendas and everything, and I didn't mind that. It's just I feel like if they could have did all that, they could have called the movie The Foundation, and it would have been a great horror movie.
Yeah,
like they should have distanced themselves away from the Wrong Turn franchise. Like,
absolutely, I 100% agree.
They had a whole new great concept, and honestly, I could see sequels with this shit. Really, like, like the way they did it, but to put it as Wrong Turn, like,
nah.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing. I can't like compare it because I haven't seen any of the original ones. I think I've only seen a little bit of the first one that came out in like 2003, but I haven't seen any other Wrong Turns.
See, that's like the main one we talking about. Like
there's like six of them.
Yeah, I've seen them all, but like part one is the one that they really, and I'll say part two as well, where they really double down on the that whole backwoods angle.
The fuckery, there was a lot of bloody inbred fuckery.
Yeah, the fuckery in part 1 and 2 is like, it's crazy. Like when you get to part 3 and 4, I think because like a prison bus gets stuck out there, like yeah, that one's good too. Like these niggas, the fuckery goes like beyond, but 1 and 2 is what you really gotta compare it to if you're talking about Wrong Turn. Like, those are the ones I would recommend to watch.
Right. Yeah, the other ones you'd watch if you just, if you were kind of bored or whatever. You just want something that, something that you can turn your mind off from, and just be like, you want to see some bloody fuckery. That's what it is.
I can't remember the number, the one with the prison, what number that was. I think the prison bus, but that one was decent too. But yeah,
I thought that was 3.
That might be 3. Yeah, you might can stop at number 3.
I'll have to watch the original ones. I've only seen a little bit of. I haven't even seen the full first one. The first one is the only one that I've seen anything of. So I'll have to check them out to see and compare and contrast.
Yeah, because this shit is like, they give you like one now. I know I'm kind of getting on the movie the bad sides, but they did certain things that was dope. I mentioned how it was broken up and it was easy to follow the pacing, but as far as like the fuckery, I love the addition of all the traps. The traps was the damn MVP.
Yeah, those traps were dope. Like, they just came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh crap! I was not expecting those.
Nigga, the traps were the MVP of that movie.
And how creative they were.
Yeah.
Because I was like, usually sometimes I can expect something to happen, but a couple of them were took me by surprise. Oh crap! I wasn't expecting that.
And how they flipped the story too, like when everybody got captured, because once they get captured, now you go into the second part of the movie. The first part of the movie is them going into the woods. and you already see one of the traps happen and accident.
Yeah, one of the gay guys in there guy's like his head flattened or some shit with the fucking tree trunk or whatever that was rolling.
That shit was crazy. Like, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was one of the few times I laughed because it was really hilarious. How that dude's teeth was all sticking out and shit. He looked mad stupid. So, I laughed at that kill.
That shit was crazy. And then another part was when the second part of the story, the movie, when they finally encounter those people, and the dude, beats the hell out of one of them.
With the asshole. Yeah, he beat the hell out of the asshole, and that asshole was part of the movie that I couldn't stand because, in that second part, they try to humanize some of this shit, like, because obviously the reason why they was in the cave because I guess he got captured or whatever by one of those mountain men, and they couldn't understand what they was talking about. So the asshole just, I'm gonna kill one of them. And then afterwards, that whole scene was like, "You guys are barbaric." Well, wait a minute, you guys are barbaric. And
because they was carrying him like he was a damn smoked pig.
Yeah, exactly.
A damn cookout, like.
Yeah.
If you break free from that, I'm killing whoever.
Yeah, and that's like, why are you trying to humanize like, and that shit, and that's what just taking me out. Like, this is supposed to be fuckery. Like, why?
Yeah, they kind of pissed me off with that part because I felt like it got too political. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, I don't. I mean, if you're gonna do some political leanings in this shit, it better be really clever. Not some shit that I'm gonna be like rolling my eyes at. Especially when like the kill, like if you got to kill someone, yeah, I mean, common sense is if you're getting carried, like a pig on a spit, you kill that motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
That's like, you don't try human. Well, women, man, he could be trying to help. Like, fuck out of here. That's like. There's no.
It's like everybody was backing him, but it's like they didn't really mean it, and I'm like, what the fuck, like. Yeah, and the whole civilization they have there, like, you see how they had black folks, they had everybody back. I'm like, damn, like.
Yeah, they had a whole utopia going on.
It looked like no utopia. That looked like a hard living, like.
But also too, it had some other fuckery too. That second part, because obviously, they had a thing about, we're gonna send you to some darkness, and I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna put them in some dark ass cave. And one of the few things that I can never tolerate in any movie is any type of eye gouging injuries and shit like that.
Okay. So now we get to the third part of the movie when the whole punishment and they take them back to the village part. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The eye gouging shit was real.
Yeah, and I was just like, what is this dark? Okay, they'll put him in a cave. Okay, that's not so bad. And then he lit up that knife, and I'm like, oh shit, he's about to blind these cats, and he put them in there, and I'm thinking to myself, oof, and I had to.
He cut their tongue off, right?
I don't think he cut off the tongue. I mean, I don't
the eyes.
Yeah, just the eyes.
But they weren't really talking in there like that.
Yeah, the eyes didn't bother me. Well, cause weren't they taped up? No, wait, were they duct taped? I can't remember.
I don't know. I mean, because when they showed them, like when they were trying to escape from that camp, they had to go through that area. Some of them were, and this is where I think this is probably the only. This is where I guess it relates to the original wrong, because some of them were, some of them had like missing limbs, some of them, all of them were blinded, some of them were like grunting, some of them were eating dead bodies, a dead body.
It's like they modernized the savagery. They say, you know what? All these people you see, these are people like you and me, normal, regular people that we just really cannibalize and savage, with the whole savageness of the movie, like. You're not getting the whole hillbilly.
Well, wait a minute. There was that one part. The cat. One of those guys that actually took one of the blinded women out of there on the leash, because I think he was about to do something foul to her, like sexually foul. Oh. And they ended up killing his ass though. I mean, but I was like, wait a minute, that's not. Why is he taking her out of the darkness? It's like. I think that dude was probably the biggest savage of them all.
Yeah, the damn the leader, the boss.
Yeah.
And then So the last part of the movie, the fourth part, is basically the rescue. The father of the main chick, you know, because the characters in the movie, they're all kind of, you're not really rooting for them. None of them's likable. I guess
Not one bit.
The main chick is okay. The black guy is insufferable. Fucking loser. Damn. His ass, he's on some like, they belong to me, I belong to them. Like, I'm like,
Yeah, that was really stupid, honestly.
yeah, that kind of ruined it. Like, I would have rather them try to have him escape and he gets killed than just be on that too stupid shit.
Yeah, he submitted too early, bro. It was just like, God damn it, they had to make him weak, and that's probably the. And I like to say agenda. That might be actually.
No, there was too much liberal agenda. I'm just all I'm gonna say is liberal agenda. Like, I'm not even a conservative, but like it was just it got out of control, and it was too forced and corny. Like, I don't mind like a little bit of like a liberalness, but like they do their best to shoehorn in that any chance they get.
Yeah, because it just happened so fast, and like everybody became dude's friend like immediately, and it's like this dude was like, damn, like, you know what? No one liked me in my other life before, and I'm like, hold on, didn't this guy seem like he was popular and he was the leader? And now it's like he's easily won over by these new people, like.
Yeah, it's like he's weak, you know. It's like, you know what?
Oh, nobody liked him because he was with a white woman. Like, that angle was like so corny. Like,
it's like, yeah, hey, boss, if you're here, you can get all the white pussy you want. Just stay in them backwoods, you know. We'll help you out. We'll be your friend. Like, so that's the type of vibe I'm getting. So I'm like, But it did have some good deaths. The killings, the damn the traps were the MVP. The pacing, and just the agenda. And I'm beginning to think like you're gonna have to start including the agenda in the movies now, because as far as like reviewing them, because you didn't have movies so agenda sized back in the day. Like now it's like,
yeah, it was like, you gotta have,
yeah, watch.
Yeah,
and an agenda to it.
Yeah.
And the one before that, the fucking platform had an agenda. So
yeah, but at least the platform one, at least that one was actually a little bit more clever. So
yeah, that was more clever. Like
it was just disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know all the movies I pick out be the disgusting, like this nigga got problems type movies.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but
I mean, I would have watched Wrong Turn regardless. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, oh shit, came out there. Like I will, because like I said, I was a fan of the franchise.
You seen it first, actually.
Yeah, you know. So I mean, but it's just like the whole thing. Like it wasn't Wrong Turn. Like LB said, like if it was called something else, you know, I could have stomached it. I probably.
Because I keep saying it in the movie, all those damn Foundation bastards, I can't stand them.
Yeah.
I'm like, nigga, y'all could have just called the movie The Foundation.
Yeah.
And it would have been straight. Like, people would have probably given an honest chance. But when you call it Wrong Turn, you got old niggas like us that's going to be like, compare it to the first one.
Yeah. I mean, at least say, you know, like there was some more inbred. Like it doesn't even have to be like Three Finger or the rest of other wild ass cannibals. Like some new shit like that. You know, it's just like I don't like hillbillies. Just, you know, regular ass hillbillies. You know, it's just like they got to be on some fuckery.
Those destroyed hillbillies. You know what? Let's just make everybody kind of modernized, commercialized, but deadly. You know what? Fuck it. We'll have sophisticated traps. Because those traps were sophisticated as fuck, man.
Yeah. You know, but those traps were enough to make me think it was like, yo, like I mean, I couldn't get into that movie after that. I was just like, yo, this was just like it was like a hipster version of Wrong Turn, and that's not how I wanted to feel about it. You know. So
overall, what would you give the score?
I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Like I said, it's just because like I said, it was. To me, it was just garbage because I felt like it didn't live up to its actual franchise name. But there were some
if
good.
it's garbage, how you give it an average?
However, it did have some things in it, but it did have some things in the movie that had going for it. But I just don't appreciate. I just didn't like humanized movies that should be just nothing more than mindless fuckery. So, but
well, damn.
I know, right?
Yeah, it wasn't. It like I said, it wasn't like I said. That's where the trash aspect came from. But like I said, it wasn't a bad movie. It was just the wrong thing. It was just the wrong thing to call it, and it gave me, unfortunately, it gave me a bias that I can't shake from it. So that's basically my review.
King P.
I actually really enjoyed this, but like I said, I haven't seen not seen all the wrong turns, so I can't compare it to this. I'm just comparing this on its own. So
I like that perspective. Like,
yes,
rated that as his own. So I think that's good. So go ahead.
I enjoyed it. Like forced liberalism aside, thought the plot was pretty cool. I thought they did a good job of there was definitely enough. Like there was a bit of violence and gore. Like when he was beating the dude's head in, like bashing his head in, I had to like turn away for a minute. I'm like yeah. So like you got me there. Because rarely do I have to turn away from stuff. If I have to turn away from it, okay, you were violent enough. Yeah. My only real complaint, and I'm gonna keep it 100, is that the damn ending was trash. I hated the ending because like this is the way they made it, and like first off, a lot of people probably wouldn't have even stayed at the end because you see the credits coming. Somebody might have just like, okay, it's over, and then you miss that at the end and then I'm like, wait, it's still going on, and like they didn't do a good job of really establishing that, because first I thought it was a dream, and then it wasn't a dream, and then it was,
yeah.
like that whole thing was stupid. Like they could have made it more forward and like more definitive instead of that.
You know what? I actually like the ending the way it was, though.
No, I mean the ending.
I see what you're saying. With
let me put it like this: the idea of the ending was fine. I just feel like the execution was what really threw me. Yeah, no, the execution was horrible. They could have done a better job of putting. I felt like that was an ending like that was too rushed. Like it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, like we needed to see her kind of fight them in the truck or something.
Yeah, like all you just see is them crash, and then like then it's just a frenzy. I'm just like there should have been more detail to that part. So I knocked some points down. For that. That's really the only thing, and that was one of the things I'm thinking. Oh, what is it with Netflix and these underwhelming endings?
And
like
this ain't even a Netflix movie, and this shit had a Netflix ending.
Yes, I'm like, this might as well be a Netflix movie with a damn Netflix ending. But overall, I thought it was solid. I thought the plot was good. Liberal agenda aside, ending aside, all in all, I'd probably have to give it a 7.
Oh wow, that's the same. I was gonna give it. Yeah, agreed. I give it a 7. Like, and it's funny because I originally told a friend like I gave it an 8, but once I sat on it a little more, and like certain shit with the whole agenda and just the whole with the black guy just pretty much be like, yes sir, I stays here. Like
no, if it wasn't for the forced liberalism and the underwhelming execution of the ending, I probably would have given it an 8. Like me, how I saw it,
honestly.
Yeah, like what I usually do is it's a weird way, like with ratings, when I know I'm gonna have to rate a movie, I start it at a 10 and then knock it down for every bad thing it does. Like I go backwards.
Oh, okay. Nah, I feel that's a good way too, cause like it had a lot of good parts to it, like, but it just certain shit like. And I don't even feel like the ending was bad, but I do feel like it could have been executed stronger. Like the concept was dope. It's just, you know, there was a lot of niggas in that van. Like
I just felt like the way they did, like it didn't feel like a proper. Like, I don't feel like the guys got their proper comeuppance. Like, it just was. That's what I'm saying. Like,
when I rescued with the father, I was already like, okay, like this it. Like niggas is getting murked. Like, I didn't like how everybody was kind of shook at the foundation. Then y'all go and help these niggas at the end.
Yup.
Dump the pops, but then y'all fucking help them out. like, which one is it? Y'all niggas mad at the foundation?
Yeah. Is it Uchiwali or is it One Mike?
Yeah, exactly. Like one minute y'all like, man, I can't stand them niggas up there. Nah. Then the next minute it's like, man, they alright. Like, just don't mess with them. Like, nah. Like, which one is it? So,
and then it's well, you know, they them bastards took away my nephew or something. I'm like, okay, but you didn't display that discuss earlier. Now all of a sudden it just comes up. Like, what?
Yeah. It's like you had to really become these guys' friends to know like how much Foundation fucked them over.
Basically,
like, they took our jobs. They took our cousins. Hey, okay, but yeah, the movie's definitely a 7. I recommend it. Cause the traps and the pacing and the gore death is definitely above average. But I'm just gonna have to come to terms with the fact that all these movies now are gonna just be agendanized, or I'm just making up a word because it almost seems like that's what they're doing, putting this shit in there. So
yeah,
I mean, there's no other way to say it. So
yeah, we can't have fucker without agenda.
So that's all I got to say about it. This is dope enough to give it a chance. It is what it is.
Yeah.